Well, hello everybody. If you clicked on this video, um, it's probably because you have been smoking for a while, and maybe have tried quitting, maybe have failed quitting, uh, maybe want to quit, maybe don't want to quit, but are kind of just considering it. Um, and this video is not meant to be a preachy, judgmental monologue. I just kind of wanted to share what has worked for me. Um, what quitting smoking has um, done for my life, and what it's not done for my life. Right? The pluses and the minuses and everything, and essentially just document what my experience has been being smoke free, and um, kind of give a life update, I suppose, as well. Um, so the last time I smoked anything, I think the last thing I ever smoked was I had a little THC vape pen with a cartridge, the USB powered ones. Um, and I remember just you know ripping that pen as much as I possibly could before passing out or whatnot. Um, and that was April 9th, 2023. And it's now 2026. And that means it's been 3 years. It's been 3 years for me. And that includes everything. That includes cigarettes as well. That includes vape pens or nicotine vapes as well that you get at the gas station. And um, I'll just share briefly my life at that point. Um, 2022 and 2023. Um, at the end of 2022, was I'd quit my job, um, kind of in corporate, I suppose, and I started driving for Uber full time, which was great because there's no drug testing for it, so I could just you know get high as much as I wanted, not have a whole lot of consequences for it. But that ended badly. Um, Almost went under. Basically, spent all the money I had. I had cashed in my 401k at the time. So put me way behind any of my peers financially. Uh, Kicking myself right now to how much that money would be worth now, even in this short 3 years. But that's because of the choices I made. It's good. Anyways, that April, I had been working at an auto repair shop since July of the previous year. So that's a few months. Some time. Um, uh, and I just remember knowing in my heart uh, that although it was fun to smoke weed, fix cars, work with my hands, be like a manly man, and just shoot the breeze with my coworkers and have a blast with some guys my age, and help people by fixing cars. You really feel like a badass when you're repairing a vehicle. I knew that there was a level of sacrifice that they had, the men my age, and then also the men who were twice my age or 3 times my age even, um, had put in a lot of time and years of passion and dedication to auto repair, and that's not something that I had done at the age of 25. and I certainly wasn't going to. In order for me to pursue a career in auto repair, I would have to spend a decade before I would see any results from it. Probably, maybe shorter. Who knows? You never know the future. I just knew that I could probably do better for myself by going a different path. And by that I mean, um, get out of my situation, save a little bit more money, a lot faster, by going back into what I had studied in school, which was I went to school for business, and actually pursuing that, capitalizing off of that, and getting a return on that investment. Um, so um, I quit smoking, and sure enough, my work ethic doubled. I was able to produce a lot more. I was able to change a lot more tires, fix a lot more brakes, do a lot more oil changes, do a lot more rotations, and be a lot more helpful to the technicians who were there. Um, and, uh, I really thank some of the guys who helped me quit, who encouraged me on my journey as I was trying to quit, you know? Um, and, so I guess what I would leave you if you were still getting high every day, if you're, or all day, I should say, because there was a point where I was high all the time. It's how you become. It's what eventually ends up happening. I think when you truly enjoy smoking, truly enjoy it. You just bring it with you all day. You know, um, it makes you feel good. It makes things funnier. Makes food taste better. It relieves your anxiety and your stress. If you're super depressed and sad and disappointed in your life, you can just take a rip of that, and all of a sudden, you're not as much of a disappointment anymore in your own head for some reason. You know what I mean? And it really does numb pain too. Um, just general pain, bodily ailments or whatever. Um, but especially if you just are not comfortable being your own self, being sober in your own head, and if you can't be yourself truly, um, that's when you kind of grab onto something like a drug, or a drink. Um, so so what did I do? I got sober, and I applied to a job at an insurance company to get back into insurance, and that application went through. Um, the first week was hard. I remember really kind of white knuckling it. I had basically said, like, I gotta at least be able to do a year without this, or else it's gonna keep on killing my lungs. It's gonna destroy me, and I'm just gonna be a stoner my whole life, and I'll just be changing oil till I'm 40, which is not what I wanted for my life. I wanted, hopefully, family, and I wouldn't want to expose my children or my spouse to smoke. Um, so I quit smoking. The first thing that happened with me is I got a brand new job, and a lot of stresses come with that. And it was like, what am I going to do to cope with that stress? And um, I didn't smoke. I found other things. Um, I fell in love. I met my girlfriend that July, or that August, shortly after I got hired in July, and really just poured into being the best man I could possibly be for her, um, and the best man I possibly could be for myself and my family. And I was really focused on building wealth and getting my net worth back up. So I basically started from, like, practically nothing, to now where I have about 10 times as much as I did back then, as far as like money goes. Um, I'd rather not share exact dollar amounts. I think people are a little bit too transparent with their finances. Um, every time you bring up exact numbers with people's net worths, right? Somebody is leaving that conversation feeling bad. You know, it's if you learn somebody's financial net worth and they have less money than you think differently of them, and you'd be like, oh, I have more money than them, or it's like, oh, they don't have as much money, or whatever, right? You're more inclined to pay for the tab or whatever, or pay for your drink. So it's like there's that dynamic, and then also if you find out someone's financial net worth and they end up having a lot more money than you, or just more money than you in general, then you do look at them different. You're like, oh wow, like, I mean, one reaction is like, oh wow, what do they do to get all that wealth? You know, how did they attain that? How can I be more like them? Like, and then you start like putting them on a pedestal almost, or you get kind of bitter. You'd be like, what, that guy's got more money than me. She has more money than me. Isn't she like not as smart as me or not as hard worker? Like, what's going on with that? And you get jealous, right? So it's, a bunch of things could happen when you learn somebody's net worth. A lot of them are bad. So I won't say numbers, but I will say that I actually have a net worth now. And when I was high all the time, even driving for Uber, I made a lot of money doing Uber. A lot of it went to costs, but because I was just driving every day. I remember I drove for the month of, I think it was August. Yeah, for the whole month of August, I believe, every single day for an entire month, I drove. So it was like 12 hours a day for like 31 days, 32-ish days, something like that, right? And, a lot of that money went to gas and, costs, but I did keep a lot of it. And, but I was just working all the time. Um, and so I did make a good living while I was, I should say I got by. I was able to pay my bills. I should put it that way, but I actually have a more stable financial situation now that I am, not a smoker, anymore. That's just me. Saved a lot more money too, because the habit, unfortunately, is very, very expensive. If you're like really a smoker, I mean, I would be smoking, I would use that pen a lot. The pen became more cost effective, because you could just buy a cartridge for like $100, $200, and that could last you like however long you want it to last you, right? I mean, sometimes if you're just hitting it all the time, it would last you a week, maybe less, maybe a couple days. Yeah, who knows? You can go through one an entire day. But if you're doing flour, I don't know how much, but you get a bag and that might last you like a weekend, honestly. Or an eighth, I think is how they call it. They serve it to you in like these little medicine vials, They look just like those pill bottles, but they got cannabis flower in them. Anyways, get super expensive. If you really add it up, we're not talking like less than $100. We're talking hundreds of dollars, or at least north of that. And that stuff kind of compounds. That stuff adds up. People. I know there's inflation. I know things are expensive, but really these dollar amounts end up being pretty small that matter in life. Like, I don't know a good example, but I don't know, a meal costing $100 versus $200 or whatever, right? That's all I'm saying is that even now, making a better living, making more money, $100 is still a lot, and I might not have said that when I wasn't making as much money, but now that I guess I am making more, it's like I actually appreciate the value of a dollar. And what that I guess is more like, what did I do to get that dollar, and how and how I am grateful for it or whatnot. I don't know. Anyways, not really sure what's going for it with that, but it's pretty expensive. It's pretty expensive to be a stoner. If you include in like Uber Eats and going out to eat, or certainly the cost on your lungs, right, and your mental health and your physical health, your spiritual health. If you are a believer in spiritual health or spiritual things, then yeah, certainly, you are, taking a drug definitely puts you in a different state of mind. Um, yeah, and it's expensive. It's not cheap. So, um, then after that, I just, my main focus was working and, growing in my relationship, um, cooking a lot, reconnecting and planning, and that's pretty. There have been a lot of things that happened. I probably won't go into them in this video because we're already at 15 minutes, I suppose. But I'll just say that these past 3 years have been very, very difficult. They've been very hard, I should say. I sacrificed a lot, lost a lot, but I guess I should just leave with this one quote. If you watch this far, then you're at least care enough to know about what's going on in my life, or you at least are just looking for some wisdom, I suppose, that I can give to you. I'm not old enough to be sharing any wisdom, but I guess that's kind of the beautiful thing about wisdom, is that it doesn't matter your age. Like, wisdom will reveal itself to those who are willing to take it to heart. I'll share with you a quote that really makes a whole lot of sense, and it's pretty much a quote that I had to hold on to a lot, and I still hold on to a lot when it comes to change, or having to grow and not wanting to grow, having no reason really to grow other than to make a better life for yourself, or whatever, right? You just know you can't stay where you're at, and it goes like this, right? The pain of the problem has to be greater than the cost of the solution. So I'm going to go ahead and just say that again for us. The pain of the problem must be greater than the cost of the solution. So essentially what that means is that you have to be down so bad that it would actually become easier for you or smoother for you to change than it would be to stay in your same spot that you're staying in. So let's bring it back to smoking and, smoking weed all the time, right? At some point, you have to be, hold on one second. Nope, don't do that. Sorry, Mabel was about to eat a napkin. This is my dad's dog. Hey, Mabel. Hey, sweetie. What you doing? What you doing? Hey, girl. Hey, girl. Okay, I think she wants to play, so I'm going to have to wrap up here soon. But, yeah, so basically, you have to get to a point where change would actually become easier than staying where you're at, right? So, and that can happen at any point. That could happen at, like, I was tempted to do something and changed. But for me, what had to happen was my life had to become so embarrassing and so miserable and so gross and just so pathetic and depressing that changing and actually saying, screw this, F this, I want to move on with my life and do something else, do something better, make more money, have more money, be able to afford nice things, get a nicer car or whatever, get out of debt. That has to become easier. The cost of the solution has to become easier to you. It has to make more sense to you. It has to be worth it. And for something to be truly worth it, like it could be worth it, but it could be hard, right? And I think that humans don't do hard things. That's kind of the sucky thing about this quote is that people always be like, oh, like you can do hard things, you can overcome anything you put your mind to, and that's true. But for most people living through life, like it's hard to change. It's really hard to change. Like just when's the last time you changed something about your life? Like truly changed, like actually like changed a religious belief or change your political alignments or political alliances, right? When's the last time you voted for the opposite party, right? It's rare. It doesn't happen easily, right? So the quote is just a recognition of like, hey, you're gonna do what's easiest for you. Like humans do. We seek comfort because we're trying to survive. We're not built for thriving always. We're built for survival. We're created that way, and we're gonna seek comfort, right? We're gonna seek safety, and safety for me was getting high, after a long day. The ritual, the culture, the music, whatever, the vibe, the parties, the fun, right? So eventually, for if you're gonna be able to quit something like smoking, for me, smoking had to become so awful and so horrible to me. It had to become so heavy that it changing and the solution to my problem was seen as more attainable or at least attainable, right? So that quote is a hard quote to accept because it requires some humility on your part, and realizing that, oh, like I am human, I am flawed, I am going to do sinful things if left to my own devices, and I am going to do things that are bad for me if I do not take care of myself, be my own parent, be your own parent. So if you are struggling with smoking, if you feel like the pain of the problem is getting real, is getting heavy, is getting severe, the pain of the problem has to become greater than the cost of the solution. So I'll leave you with that. The pain of the problem has to become greater than the cost of the solution. Because it's only at that point where you will choose the solution. Whatever that may be for you. Hopefully it is quitting, because I think your lungs clearly deserve better, I should say. Your soul, your mind, your spirit, your emotions, your inspiration, whatever justification you want to give for smoking, or getting high all the time. Like, trust me, I've made those concessions. I've had those mental gymnastics go on in my head as well, in my soul. But I will just leave you with, your lungs probably deserve better. It is not good for your lungs, and you need your lungs to breathe. I've had family members die from mouth and lung cancer. It is a miserable death, and you do not want that for you, and you do not want that for anyone. It truly is awful. So the pain of the problem had to become greater than the cost of the solution for me. The cost of the solution was to put it down, to give it up, to stop smoking. And my life has become better since I've made that decision. I am still tempted to this day to get high and to have a smoke and just swing through the dispensary and light one up in my car or at the park or at home or at a party or I have family members who still smoke, and they'll pass a joint to me or a vape pen, or smoke around me. Um, it's not easy, and it's kind of hard to believe that I'm not a smoker anymore. It's hard to identify as a non-smoker. I don't really identify as a non-smoker, but it's smoking is not who I am anymore. A smoker is not who I am. I'm not the kind of person who did the kind of things that I did when I was high all the time. I'd like to think. But anyways, thanks for watching. If you've been here this whole time, I know it's a long video, but it's my YouTube channel. I get to do whatever I want on it, I suppose. So, and it's I think it's also really important to document things, for yourself and for your family. I think maybe in the future, maybe my loved ones or my family members or even my kids or whoever will look at this video and be able to see a little bit of me before I pass. The ones who care about me. Obviously, you guys that are just have watched this channel just because a guitar video or a funny meme that I'll post or whatever I put up. It's people have, there's a million different reasons why people tune in to someone's channel, and for me, my channel is a place to channel, just to share things that I'm comfortable sharing with anyone, with my best friends or with strangers, and I hope to bring a level of realness back to this app, this platform as well, and hopefully connect. I don't know. It's mostly for me. I hate to say it, but this is mostly for me, guys. I mostly do this because I like to make videos of myself talking. I don't get a whole lot of chances in my life to speak uninterrupted, and a lot of people don't either. A lot of people don't get to speak uninterrupted for a half hour straight. So I think it's good to at least talk to a camera to get your thoughts out, to practice speaking. I think it's going to become even more necessary for all of us to practice speaking and practice thinking and articulating our thoughts and sharing our experiences, because they can be helpful. I know they've been helpful. They've been helpful for me to hear people's experiences. It's been very helpful for me. Yeah. Quit smoking. I think you won't regret it. You'll be able to run farther. Your lungs will feel better. And you will have overcome something that is difficult to overcome. So if anything, do it for that. Do it for the bragging rights, That'll only get you so far, though. After a while, it's like not super impressive that you don't pull smoke into your lungs and cough up a storm and just, ask for lung cancer and mouth cancer. It's at a certain point, it's not that impressive. It's just like logical at that point, or reasonable. So don't kid yourself. It's not that big of a deal. But for me, to me, it is a big deal to me. So, all right. I think that's long enough. So thank you for listening, and God bless you all. And we'll see you in the next video.